love tennis. I grew up playing juniors. My dad had a tennis court. Soccer, basketball, ping pong. Tennis is the one that outlasted all of them.
DJ Mad Linx here today from Florida Tennis with the one and only legendary Redfoo.
Yeah, baby, what's up?
Hey, so you know, this is what I found in my tennis journey.
Yeah.
That there's so many people that I've known from different industries that you never knew had anything to do with tennis whatsoever.
Yeah.
So when people first got a wind of you, obviously knowing your background, you know, with music, your hit maker, toured the world as one of the biggest groups in the world. Then you find out, man, tennis, but not just like this passing fancy. You have a very strong background in the sport.
Yeah, I love tennis. I grew up playing juniors. My dad had a tennis court, playing little tournaments on the weekends, and I've always been a sports guy. You know, soccer, basketball, ping pong. But tennis is the one that outlasted all of them.
What do you think it was about tennis in particular that made it last longer than the others?
Well, I think it's because you play for yourself. You know what I mean? Generally, you know, you play doubles, you got a partner, but so it's kind of like the boxing of racket sports.
One-on-one.
I didn't like, you know, the other sports. Well, golf, you know, is nice because you play for yourself. That's nice. But like when a coach can like sit you out, like, oh, come off the, you know, go sit on the bench, or like when a soccer coach don't put you in until halftime,
right? Until
they're up 3-0. That bothered me. I say, Coach, I'm the one. And I didn't want to, you know. So tennis was that for me. It was like it's like the entrepreneur of sports. It's like you're an entrepreneur. Like even the pro tennis players, they're independent contractors they, you know, even the NFL, like you don't sign a contract with the ATP.
Yeah.
You don't sign a contract with WTA. You know, there's weird rules where they can just put a highlight of you on ESPN and no one gets paid. But that's a whole different thing. But the point is you play. It's your own business. Tennis, even recreational, even playing in the 45s and the 50s. It's like your own thing, you know, and it's so competitive.
Oh yeah.
And that's what's amazing.
Speaking about your own business and being competitive in the sport, you have dedicated this time in your life to being a pro, basically.
Yeah, I played in Egypt. I played the Futures, the M15s for 4 weeks in a row. And I got a nice taste of what the pro is, and that's the lowest level. And man, the cats are strong. Cats are in the gym. Cats playing, they lose, they coming back, training another hour on the serve, and then in the gym, biking it out. And so I said, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Wow.
And I want to get my ATP point, and now I'm in the gym. I'm in the gym. I'm training here at the Mouratoglou Academy for a week. I go back home. I got a situation, a coach and an academy at home, and we're 5 hours a day, 2.5 in the gym, 2.5 on the court.
Wow.
And it's incredible. I'm pushing sleds. You know what I mean? Doing the whole thing. So.
Now, most people who have the level of success in anything that you've attained in music, the last thing that they would want to do most likely would be grinding it out on the, as you say, the lower levels of the professional sport. By the way, and when we say lower level, it's by no means a level of disrespect, because the athletes, as you mentioned, you know, are phenomenal. These are the best in the world still. But you know, you're really putting in the work. I mean, we've seen you here all week. As you mentioned, you're going back home and grinding it out still. That has to be like a fire that's burning inside you. It just comes naturally.
That's a great way to explain it. It's a fire. It's a dream. It's not work when it's a dream, right? When it's a fantasy, when it's a passion, when it's something that you think about, and you know, tennis is great because it's still enjoyable to watch on TV. and it's one of the few sports. You know, even baseball, you play it. It's fun. But you know, you didn't watch it. I mean, I'm not trying to, but I mean, it's just like a long time. Golf, you can play for 6 hours, but it's hard to, unless it's the Masters, the final round, the playoff. It's the only golf I watched. You know, I'm not trying to, but it's like, but tennis is still, there's something so athletic about them sliding on the concrete, let alone the clay. The athleticism, it's just so fun to watch. Some of the other alternative racket sports, you know, it's hard to watch pickle. Even pickle players is like, I'm not watching this shit.
Right.
You know. So tennis is just something magical about it. And, you know, grinding in the gym 5 hours a day it's a dream. I wanted to play pro tennis as a kid. I stopped to play and I did music. But my dream was cut off. It was like I woke up in the dream, and then I woke up in front of a keyboard, and then I did music for 25 years. And then I retired from music, did that dream. It was a great, wonderful dream. #1 in the whole thing, and did the stuff, and that wasn't work when I was doing it. When we were doing, you know, 20 hours a day. You know, tennis, you need your 8 hours. You need to recover. So you can't afford to do the stuff. Party, you can't afford to do none of that stuff. You got to eat clean. You got to be. I'm in bed by 9 o'clock sometimes. 8:30. You know, trying to get them extra hours. But it's not work. It's the passion is so great that I go to the gym every day, and I'll push a sled like I was a damn reindeer.
So most people will never have the experience of participating and playing in a pro tournament on any level. What was that moment for you when you first walked on court knowing that I'm here doing this?
It was great. That was a dream come true. And surprisingly, you know, I wasn't nervous. You know, there's this like weird stuff. You know, I kind of, during the music career, I conquered nervousness, which is a very interesting thing. It's, you know, they say anxiety or nervousness is nothing but fear in the future. Fear of, it's yourself, or thinking negative about yourself in the future. That is the way I explain it. Having negative thoughts about yourself. If it's a blind date, you know, is she gonna like me? Are they, you know, what if they stick me with the bill? You know, or whatever it is. You know, is it playing a sport? You know, am I gonna double fall? What if I double fall on match point? All these like weird negative dreams in the future. So with music, I conquered it. So I was never nervous on one LMFAO show before, and I thought, wow, if I can just like take that to tennis. When I first started playing tennis, some stuff crept in, you know, like what if I don't? And then I fixed it real quick, and so I came out, and so my mind is really strong. And that's what I noticed. I'm playing the pro, and it wasn't different than the UTR match I played a month ago. It's just another match. It's another, you know, it's like even if you race your friend, you still get those butterflies like on the beach. You're like, oh shit, you want to race? You want to go? You want to go? And you get fired up, you know? And it's all the same, whether it was pro, whether, you know, I had the family there watching me. And since I don't think negative, you know, what if I lose? What are they going to think of me? I don't think all that stuff. I just go up there, I think about getting low, staying low, posture, you know, head up on the second serve, you know. And I just go out there and I play my strategy and, you know, big forehands, you know, look for the forehand and go and execute. I got my ass kicked and I wasn't afraid of getting my ass kicked. That's the point. So, but I learned so much. You get your ass kicked and you learn. And I don't say, you know, they say you take an L, and I say, yeah, you do take an L, you take a learn. And everybody's pace is a little higher in the futures, in the pros, but they're still the same consistent. You know, they're still consistent, but they practice it with a little more pace. and it's tough to get used to.
Right.
And you think, oh, I'm just going to make some balls. No, you're not. Because if they're not super deep and they're not linear, they're just going to set up and just throw you over in the corner. And even a slice, people think, oh no, I'm just going to slice it. No, you're not. No, you're not, because they're just going to run around it and go forehand inside out, and then eventually you're going to hit a weak slice, and then they're going to put it away.
Right.
So you got to attack. To win in the pro, you can't just grind. You got to learn how to put balls away when you're supposed to. You ever play blackjack?
Yes.
And they say split eights always.
Yeah.
There's like a way to play. That to me is the new tennis game. Like, if you're supposed to put that ball away or supposed to come in on an approach shot, you got to come in and finish it with a volley. It's the way to play. You can't get away. The modern game is so forward. Even in clay, we're watching all this clay season. A lot of people are volleying, putting the balls away, serve and volley. If you want to stand way back there, Medvedev, we're gonna come in and kick it in and drop shot. So I love that about tennis. It's evolving, and it's evolving fast. So as I'm getting better, everybody's getting better. And are you getting better? You have to be getting better at a rate a little higher than everybody else. Because these kids, you got the Fonseca 18 and Alcaraz 21, and these kids, they're built. Their legs are this big, and they're already. And they already got the mind. Alcaraz already has the mind of a champion. So these kids, they're watching the YouTubes, they're watching the backhand doctor, they're watching the forehand guy, they're watching all this stuff and the slow motions.
Yeah.
So the whole world, then now you got AI that can examine your whole skeletal or structure.
Right.
And so all this stuff, and I'm using all of it. I'm watching the slow-mos, I'm watching everything, I'm taping myself. That's scary.
Yeah.
Tape yourself. Tape your own forehand, thinking that you're ripping, and looking, your elbows like this, and you're doing this, and it's like, ugh, that's what I look like.
I know that feeling all too well.
Golly, I'm afraid to tape myself.
But to your point, it's honestly the best way to improve.
It's the best way.
Yeah. Now, you have been involved in the sport. Listen, I see you with a Time Ball shirt, so you've been involved with that.
Yeah.
You, as a coach now, with the now defunct World Team Tennis, I believe you were.
Yeah, I was an assistant coach. Yeah.
And now also too, with your involvement with INTENNSE.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to be working as a coach, and but you're now the player?
Yeah, I love it, because I tell so many people, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. So I hear my own voice in my head when I'm playing. I'm like, oh, I told them they got to approach when they're supposed to approach, And so when I'm yelling at the TV. I'm telling Alcaraz what to do. Oh, come on, hit it, go for it, and so I'm coaching everybody, the world. And I think you need to do that, because then when it's time for you to play, you need to do what that is. So I think you learn more about tennis when you're coaching. And now, a lot of coaches don't play. But I decided, at the age of 49, no, I'm gonna play. I enjoy being a player way more than coaching, way more. I don't know. I want to play, and that's what. That was the issue with the World Team Tennis. It was like, hey, and people were like, when are you gonna play? But they're like, from the stands. They were like, throw them in, and then they were like, well, it's supposed to be pros and all this stuff, and so I said, damn, I got to become pro just to play these things, But I love it, and I love training. I love living life as a professional. That's what's fun. It's like a bodybuilder, right? They go and every day, and even if they're an Instagram influencer and they got abs and they got this, and that's how they make their money. They're a professional body sculptor. And so when I wake up every day and I'm walking around, I'm walking around and recovering and stretching and doing these things and eating as a professional. And that just makes me happy in itself. Win or lose, get the dream or not, just the journey of the dream is what's exciting.
Wow. So you obviously have your own personal reasons for doing this. And speaking to our very own Matt Pressman, who has said to me, man, listen, Redfoo, he's like inspirational. Like, I'm looking at what he's doing, and I'm thinking about this myself, and I'm wondering, as it dawned on you, the fact that you are going after this dream and doing all the things that you're doing, that it really is serving as inspiration for others.
That's the best news that I could hear. Because I've seen that in the comments to people around my age, even the younger kids. We're like, I want to be pro like you, Redfoo. And I say, okay, it just started. But like, they're like, you know, it's like if Foo can do it, you can do it. Is like a thing that's, and people are saying inspiration. And I haven't even won anything. But the fact that I'm out there, I know people, I know great tennis players that won't even step on a competitive court. They won't even, ex-college players won't even, they play recreational. Once you say, hey, let's play a UTR. No. They are so nervous to lose. And so like, what will people think of me? And if I could be an inspiration just on that level, like, go out there and have a toss and turn the night before, and wake up and wrap your grips and you know, eat your ultimate, you know, breakfast, your banana, and drive out there and think about what you're going to do and and go through that whole journey of, you know, I got to beat this stranger that I've never met generally. You know, have the feeling of going on YouTube and trying to type in the player's name in the draw and see if they even have a YouTube at whatever level. And then, oh, they're a lefty. Oh, shit. I haven't trained against the spin, the lefty spin. All that stuff. It's so fun. And there's nothing to be ashamed about if you lose, because you're going to learn. And if I can inspire people to go ahead and just play and take the dream to the next level and to the manifestation level, that's what I've done. And people, so I think I give people the courage, whether you're a kid, whether you're 55, to like, yeah, I'm gonna go out and play a tournament. Redfoo's playing a tournament. He don't care if he loses. He don't care if he looks ridiculous. You know, I posted a video of me playing. I didn't like 98% of the forehands in that video. They looked ugly to me. You know, this, and this. But I hit that one winner, and everybody was like, that's the forehand of the tournament, even all the other players, you know. So I said, okay, I'll post that. You know, I lost 1-0, but I posted that 1 point, and that thing went viral. I didn't even know. Wow. And everybody, oh, you know, and I don't like the way I dropped my head on my serve. But I posted anyway, you know, just to give the world, like, this is me, you know, this is where I'm at. And there wasn't any negative comments. Like, it was crazy. One of the few posts I got where the negative comments weren't even, you know, no one's, oh, he's old. They're, wow, he's moving. You know, I think I look like a little slow, you know, but they were like, he's, you know, and I'm like surprised. And the world, and he even, man, when Stefano Tsitsipas, when he DMs you and goes, congratulations for joining the tour, out of nowhere. That's crazy, you know. So that was, it's just like people, you know, for the first time after music, there's a lot of people that accepted me. You know, I was doing coding, people like, why don't you go back to music? You know, why don't you do this? You know, no one cares. But the tennis community, they want me to play. You know, they, you know. So it's like, that was incredible. So being an inspiration is, I never even thought about that. I was just playing for me.
Wow.
And the fact that other people are inspired, that's incredible.
Was it ever a thought to you to say, all right, listen, yes, in my youth, this was the dream that I had, but I've lived life and I've done this in music and whatnot. Hey, listen, you know what? It would still be a win for me to, let's say, go play national tournaments in the open division or even by age demographic. Was that ever a thought for even a split second?
No, I can't. People come up to me, why don't you play your age division? I said, I don't feel like there's a divide. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the gym right now with two 20-year-olds, 21. Yeah, their legs are a little bigger. They've been doing it for 2 years, 5 hours a day. Every weekday, off on the weekends. when we're out there pushing the sled, when we're doing the sprints and when we're doing the things, I don't feel a difference. I don't feel there's no age gap to me. We're both tired after. We're both sweating. We're hitting forehands, cross court. Mines are heavy. You know, they've been playing a little bit. They're a little more steady, a little more heavy at the moment. But when we're ripping, I don't feel, these 20-year-olds got more vitality. I feel this I feel like I'm 20. It's unbelievable. So when someone says, go play the 45s, yeah, the 45s, and they're good. Me and my friend Jason Cook, we played the 45s. We got beat 1-0. And we thought we were practicing, we were beating everybody in practice. They came. So I'm not saying the 45s isn't tough. I play open. I want to play the 19. I don't feel, but there's a lot of older players. No, I can't run as fast as them. I feel like I can run as fast as them. You know, I feel it. It may not be true, but I feel it. It isn't about giving myself layups. You know, not saying that the 45 is a layup. It's still going to be tough to win the 45s because everybody my age that play pro, they're in good shape. And my generation, they're in good shape. You know, Lester Cook, Jason Cook. I mean, everybody. You know. So it'd be tough to beat them. You know, but it wouldn't be a win to just. I mean, I started playing opens, and that was enough for a second. But it was like, I don't know, I dream big. I don't know.
Makes sense.
I think what it is I watch the stuff on TV, and I don't see a big difference. You know, reality kicks in. You start to play the higher levels. Shit, that serve is big. Right. You know, I know Ben Shelton's serve is a monster. But I still think if I'm against that every week and I'm playing and I'm in the gym, that eventually it becomes, you know, to them, they're returning his serve. You know, they're getting it back. They figured it out. You know, if I'm around those players and the people and we're all in the gym and we're doing the stuff, I can be there. I don't have a learning. Actually, I have a learning. The opposite from a learning disability. It's like an acceleration. Like I listen to the coaches. They tell me posture. I may not be sitting here with posture, but you know, and I'm gonna be having my posture. You know, so it's I got to go for the highest level. It's like music. I could have done jingles, you know, for commercials. No, I want to have the song, the hit record on every radio station. I want the world to be dancing to my music.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I could have just made it just for movies or, you know, SoundCloud. Or, no. This we going to the clubs. We going straight. And it's just like music, and we had to do it ourselves. We became our own DJs. We used to give the demos, we used to give the songs to other DJs. Hey, can you play this? It just felt weird. You know, it's like you can't give your racket to someone else. Can you play for me? You gotta swing it. You gotta play. And it's the same thing. We had to DJ. We played our own music. And we DJ'd, and then it got bigger and bigger. And we snuck it in. You know, I'd play hit songs. And I'd sneak my song in right there. I'd play Katy Perry, Justin Timberlake, you know, and then I'd play the song, you know, and people would clear the dance floor. What the fuck? What is this? But then some new people would come on and say, hey, what is this? You know, hey, you know, and so it's just like that in tennis, you know. All these players, they have that one breakthrough, that one grand slam. They get that wild card. Oh man, they're in the third round. Now they're, you know, Fonseca, you know, right? He's a new guy, you know, grand slam, made it to third round or something, you know. Now he's the talk of the town with the big, you know, forehand. So it's like that, and you play your local stuff, but everything I play, it's like I'm going for ATP point, winning a, you know, pro tournament, and playing for as long as my wife/partner will let me, because we have a daughter, and until the daughter starts playing, and then I'll have to retire and then coach her, and do that. But she's 2 years old, so I got about 2 to 3 years. I mean, she's starting to grab the racket now and play, but I got some time while she's young. Let's travel a little bit and play some tournaments.
Yeah. So you mentioned about the club, you mentioned about the music scene. Many people probably have this vision or idea that, especially the guy that made records like Shots and Party Rock Anthem, was probably a party animal, drinking, you know, doing all types of things that happen in nightlife and whatnot. Not sure if that was the story, but
it was the story.
So what a change then from, and how was the change for you to go from that to where you are now? And I want to talk a little bit about your discipline in regards of what you're doing diet-wise. Because you're very passionate about that. And how much has that affected your ability to say that, you know, I don't feel the age gap, I don't feel any difference?
Yeah, that could be it. You know, so I was doing the music, and we'd party every night, and we'd probably drinking every day. I mean, you know, something. I'd do interviews. If this was a music interview, we'd have some shots right here. We'd be taking shots. We'd be doing, you know. I never did anything other than drinking. Never did drugs besides alcohol and you know, like Red Bull. And I would play tennis after a show the next day. And I wouldn't get hungover because we drink so much Red Bull that it like cancels out the hangover for some strange reason. It's like a scientific, like the caffeine, I don't know what it does. Yeah, you feel a little slow and but you just go, you grind. I got into coding. I broke my leg playing tennis, trying to hit Shapovalov.
Oh, wow.
One-hander, backhand, jumping one-hander. And I was like, Shapovalov, I think I screamed his name. Shapovalov, and I slipped and I broke my leg.
Wow.
And it was crazy. And so I had some time off, so I canceled all my shows, and I couldn't be mobile, and I got into computer programming, coding, apps. Not codeine. They gave me some of that, but I didn't take it because I'm not really into the pills and And so I stopped drinking because I wanted my mind to be sharp for coding. Now this is before AI, so AI now is coding for you. So you don't have to do, but your mind had to be sharp to learn Python, to learn a language. You're learning a language, it's like learning French, learning any other language other than your native tongue. And I learned Python, JavaScript, I made a game. 3 months just watching YouTube's coding. And I stopped drinking. It's been about like 7 or 8 years. Haven't touched alcohol. Never missed it. And I started coding apps. And I coded the Time Ball app for tennis. Yeah, straight up. Loved it. And I was became a nerd. Like mathematics and the Khan Academy, learning math and algebra 2. I made trading bots, like coding trading bots to trade with Thinkorswim, Ameritrade, placing the trades for you, following certain exponential charts that we would code the chart. Like this is fun stuff to me, and it was all fun. So that got my mind right, and then obviously the health, the kidney health, and all that stuff. Then I was experimenting with diets, and I did the keto diet, which is all meat, you know, eating butter, this, that, fat. And a friend of mine told me, well, why don't you get your blood work done? And I felt sharp in the head. This is around the coding. I got the blood work. My blood work came back. It was pink. It was cream-colored pink. Like, it was lighter than this. Like, lighter than this pink.
Wow.
And there was white chunks floating in the vial, in the blood. And the doctor said, your cholesterol is over 600. We don't know how much over because they had an analog scale, and it just had the and it stopped, but it was like trying to go past 600. They said, we have never seen this. And I felt good. I was on the tennis court, I had abs. Because there's an Instagram, I have abs, I say perfect light. And I was in the gym actually. I was around tennis players, I was playing a lot of tennis. So I wasn't overweight. But they said, you are in trouble. Your blood is so thick, and it's and you're depositing and you're clogging your artery. I mean, you're clogging it up with all those white deposits, and it's bad. It's bad. So they said, and then they said, I said, oh, I know what I'm doing. They said, oh, let me guess, you're eating a lot of pasta. I said, no, I'm eating no pasta. Oh, a lot of carbs, a lot of sugars. No sugars. It's a keto. And they were like, I said, I'm eating a lot of meat. And they were like, really? That, wow. And I said, and, I drink a lot of Red Bull. They go, oh, that's what it is. I said, what are you talking? So I cut out all the meat, went to like a vegetarian diet. I probably still eat cheese or something, Came back a month later, back down to 140, like something like normal levels. And they were blown away. They said, we thought we never saw something over 600. We thought that was like a miracle, like that you're still alive. The fact that you went from 600 in 1 month, we've never seen that. In the 20 years, we've never seen that. I said, I just cut out animal products, the meat. That's what they told, my dad. My dad's been vegan 20 years before me.
Wow. Okay.
And he had some heart things and, just like, not like heart, but like high cholesterol. And high blood pressure and stuff. And they told him the same thing. And so he cut it out, and then now he, And so that was a big reason why I changed my diet. I was at 215 on a vegan diet, 215, because you're still eating the Beyond Burgers, and you're still eating burgers and breads and this, that. And I went raw, fruits and vegetables, went down to 180. Then I started thinking about, oh, I want to play pro tennis. The energy was there. The body felt good. I felt young again. When I was 215, no way. Had a little stomach, was, never thought of pro tennis. Maybe some tournaments. Oh, I'll lose a couple pounds and I'll play some opens or I'll play some the 45s, But when I started feeling young again, I had plantar fasciitis, couldn't walk because I was so heavy and in the joints and the bones. And now, when I was 180 on the raw vegan, I was feeling great. I recommend if you want your body to feel better, try definitely fruit before you play. Just eat fruit before you play. Dates, bananas. My energy's, and then while you play, you'll see the players are eating a little bit of banana, a little bit of water, a little bit of electrolytes. That's the thing. And then I'm like, well, if they do that while they play, why don't I just do that every day? Why do I just do it while I play? So sometimes I just eat a little banana, bite of a couple apples, drink it, and I'm not even playing tennis. And if I was like, I just eat like that. You know how like when you get sick and the doctor says, okay, just do liquids, just do some soups, just do this, just eat like that. If you ate like when you were sick all the time, right?
Makes sense.
So anyways, little rant. Little rant there.
Well, we thank you so much for spending some time with us. We know it's an intense weekend here at the Mouratoglou Academy, so we're gonna let you go ahead and get ready for that. Thanks again for the wealth of information.
Yeah.
And great to see you, and we wish you the best on getting that ATP point.
Yeah, baby. Thank you so much, and thanks for having me. And let's go. Be inspired, baby. Let's go.
Party rock.
Party rock.